This problem is actually two problems in one. I want to find two equations this time. One equation is going to be a line that's parallel to this line they give me. Another line is going to be perpendicular to that given line. So I'm going to go ahead and divide my paper in half and say this will be the perpendicular side, this will be the parallel side. Well, as I've been saying in these other videos, if you've watched the other ones where I'm writing equations, they're fill-in-the-blank problems. I want to write an equation that's going to be y equals something times x, that's my slope, plus another something, which would be my y-intercept. So there's two blanks I want to fill in. The first thing I always want to find as well, that I've been saying, is I want to always find the slope first. Sometimes they give you the slope, sometimes you have to calculate, or in this case we're going to have to work with parallel and perpendicular lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at the equation they gave me. Well, a couple things about this. First of all, never ever ever take this point and plug it into that equation. I see that mistake happen a lot. That point's not even on that line. That's just, the line is there for one purpose. And the only reason that equation of the line is given to us is I want to know what the slope of it is. Well, luckily for us, I suppose, they gave us the slope they gave us the equation in slope-intercept form, meaning I know that -4 is the slope of this line they gave me. What I want you to do as soon as you identify that slope, and you may need to rearrange first, is I want you to scribble out the rest of it. Everything else in that equation is garbage. It's useless. The only thing that that's for is I want to know the slope, and that's -4. That +1 screws a lot of people up, so just get rid of it. Knowing that I have a slope of -4, what I remember about parallel lines are that slopes of parallel lines are the same. So since I know that this equation has a slope of -4, I know my parallel line, my new line, is also going to have a slope of -4. See? Tricky. For the perpendicular line, what I'm remembering about perpendicular lines and slopes is I remember one thing was that I had to do a reciprocal. So I'm going to take 4 and flip it and make it 1/4. And then I remember also that I have to do opposites. So since the slope of the given line was negative, my new slope will be positive 1/4. So that's the trick to doing these problems, remembering how to find your two slopes. From here, it's going to be the same thing we've done all along, so I suppose that's good news. I've got too many variables. Let's go ahead and do the parallel line first, and we'll do perpendicular. I've got too many variables. I've got a y, an x, and a b. The whole point of this point was, remember, it represents an x and a y value. So what I'll do is replace those in my equation and solve for b. That's why they give you the point. Plug it into this new equation that we're writing. Don't ever, like I said, plug that equation or that point into the equation they gave you. That's bad, bad, bad. So my y value, let's get that out of the way. My y value is 3 equals -4 times my x value, which is -2, and then plus b. I'll find my y-intercept algebraically by doing this. So 3 equals 8 plus b, and if I subtract 8 from both sides, I'll get a b value of -5. Don't forget, we're trying to write an equation, so don't stop when you find your b value. You're almost done. Your equation will have y and x in it. So y equals -4. We knew that slope had to be the same as the line given to us. And then -5 or plus -5 if you want. So there's my parallel line. A good idea might be to pause and graph this line compared to that line we really scribbled out up there and see if they do appear to be parallel on a calculator. That would be a good way to check, as well as check your table and see if that point is on the line we graphed. Let's go ahead and do the perpendicular side, or if you want to test, go ahead and pause the video and see if you can get that part on your own. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and do it now if you want to just watch. So I know my new slope to be perpendicular will have to be 1/4, positive 1/4. It has to be the opposite reciprocal of the value they gave me, so plus b. Once again, it's just the same kind of process. I have too many variables, so let's plug in the points. Y was 3, x was -2, and I'll add a b to that, and then solve for b at this point. So 3 equals, what's that going to be, -1/2? Use a calculator if you're not a super math genius like I am. Plus b. At this point, I need to add a half to both sides, so I'll get 3.5 or 3/2, or not 3/2, 3.5 or 7/2, whatever you want to call it. But I get a b value of 3.5. Again, don't forget what we were trying to do. I want to write an equation. So my perpendicular equation is going to be y equals 1/4, my slope, times x, and then plus 3/2. No, not 3/2, 3.5 or 3.5 or 7/2. However you want to call it. I'm just going to go 3.5. That seems to be easy for me to say right now. So there's going to be the equation of my perpendicular line.